Welcome to the Fit Vegan Podcast, the show where we help you optimize your health, fitness, and mindset on a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. My name is Maxime Sigouin. I am a former triathlete, powerlifter, bodybuilder, and basketball player. And I've been vegan for 9 years. I've also been able to coach over 350 vegans from 20 different countries to completely transform their bodies and their health. I'm excited for you to listen to today's episode. Let's get into the show.
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan Podcast. For those of you guys that are watching on YouTube, you can see that I have a very different background. If you've been following me on Instagram, I had to move out of Los Angeles. We are now in Vancouver, Canada, so I'm back. I'm into Vancouver, and I have Ivy with me. Ivy, you want to come say hi? You guys are watching on podcast, you're going to have to go on YouTube, but we have Ivy in the background here. I'm going to be recording an episode with her over the course of the next few weeks because we are all locked into Canada. So today, what I want to talk about is mindset shift that will help you elevate your life. So there's 5 things I'm going to be sharing with you that made a dramatic difference in my life, and I want to share them with you so hopefully it can help you go to the next level. So the first one, which I had a really hard time with, was to seek help. I always thought that I could do everything on my own, that I could figure it out on my own, and ultimately I still believed that I could, simply that the timeline would be a lot longer than when I sought help. One of the examples is when I originally wanted to gain some more muscle and wanted to become fitter, I tried everything on my own. I was going to the magazines, I was going to the forums on bodybuilding.com. I was just listening to videos on YouTube of what these other guys were doing, and I was trying to do the same thing. But realistically, they were on drugs. They were living a very different lifestyle that I was living in order to get that big. And so I never got the results that I wanted because I was trying to copy someone that was on a completely different path than me and that was doing completely different things. And so when I sought help and I got a trainer that was like, hey, here's the training plan for you. You're unfortunately skinny fat. When I was really skinny fat when I started, you're skinny fat. So what we need to do is we need to lean out and then we need to build some muscle. But I never knew about that process. All I knew was I just need to get big and put on some muscle. And I got really chunky when I tried to do it on my own. With a coach, I was able to get leaner and then build some muscle. So seeking some help allowed me to speed up the process in order for me to reach my goal. And I know it's a really hard thing to do. If you're like me, you're type A, perfectionist, you believe that you can do everything on your own. And again, I'm not doubting you that you can do everything on your own. I'm just saying that if you seek help, things will be a lot faster and easier and smoother and more fun for you, because then you don't have to worry about if what you're doing is actually moving you forward in your goal. When I talk to a lot of members of the Fit Vegan Tribe before they were on the program, they're like, hey, I'm eating healthy, I'm being active. I just don't know if what I'm doing is actually productive. It's actually bringing me closer towards my goal. And then when they come in the program and then we just optimize their effort in their training, we optimize the way that they're fueling themselves, then the results starts to happen a lot faster. And like, you know what? I was working out so hard and I never saw these types of results. And now I've only been here for 2 weeks and I already lost 6 pounds, right? But I was eating the types of food you're making me eat. I was working out more than you're making me work out. The structure is what makes a difference. So when you seek help from a professional. So there's number one thing that made a dramatic difference in my life that allowed me to move 10 times faster. Point number 2 is don't be a know-it-all, right? And I fall within a category. I've learned to catch myself. When I hired my first coach, he would tell me things to do, and then I would always go to him. But I read this in a magazine, I saw this on a YouTube video that someone was doing that and it was working for them. Why can I not do that? And a good coach will put you in place, but don't be a know-it-all. If you're going to seek help, you're going to hire a coach, trust them, right? For some of our members that come to us at the beginning, everyone's a little bit doubtful, right? Because they've been doing things a certain way for a long time, and now we're asking them to change their approach to training and nutrition, and there might be a little bit of resistance. But one thing you have to realize is the way you've been doing things brought you to the point where you're asking for help. Therefore, it hasn't worked, right? So it's not because you bring on a coach and you want to continue doing your things your own way. It's not going to change anything because you're still doing things your own way. If you bring on a coach, trust the process, right? If you come in and work with us, we've helped over 500 vegans from 20 different countries completely transform their bodies and their health. We know what we're doing. We've dealt with all the scenarios: PCOS, hypothyroidism, fused spine, osteopenia. We've done people different types of condition, and we've been able to help them transform. Regardless of your age, we work for people that are, I think the youngest person we have was 19 years old to 75 years old. We've been able to help transform everyone. We're really good at what we do. And so coming in and trusting the process is extremely important. If you're stuck in your own ways, realize that you're the person that is preventing you from going to the next level when you have professional help from people that care for you and I want to bring you to the next level. So point number 2 is don't be a know-it-all. If you're going to bring on an expert, listen to the expert, right? It's the equivalent of going to the doctor and telling him how to do your surgery and telling him how to treat you. It's not going to work really well. He's going to tell you like, hey, I'm a doctor. I know what I'm doing. Here's what you need to do to actually heal. All right. So point number 3 is you need to trust the process. Right, that kind of ties in with point number 1 and 2, but I always say this to all of our members, and our members that are the most successful are the ones that focus on trusting the process. So I wrote a little note here. You can go at it alone, but it's going to take you a lot longer. If you go with a coach, it's going to be a lot faster, right? Which just reiterates the first 2 points. You can probably figure it out on your own. But realistically, if you compare you trying to learn all of these things versus myself, who's been in this industry for 17 years, which we have our holistic nutrition coach, Coach Sarah, who's been a holistic nutritionist for 10 years. She's been a trainer for 20 plus years. Right? Overall, you're combining 30 plus years of experience. When will you have the time in your lifetime to combine those 30 plus years of experience, plus the experience of having coached 500 different people, so all the different situations, we know how to deal with them? You probably don't have the time to learn all of this knowledge when we're constantly studying and bettering our knowledge when the new studies are coming out. So realistically, if you want to go fast, you need to go with a coach and you need to trust the process, right? I can't iterate that enough. Sometimes things are going to feel like they're stagnant and they're slow. Trust your coach, trust the process. We're going to get you through this, right? The body responds differently for different people. If you have a lot of stress, depending on your lifestyle factor, your environment, what's happening in your life, it makes the world of a difference. So trust your coach. Promise you we're going to be able to get you there. Point number 4 is be relentlessly consistent, right? I always tell this to my member, consistency compounds. We cannot compound 0%. So 0% is you not respecting your nutrition. It's you not showing up for your workouts. We can't compound 0%. We can compound 1%. We can compound 10, 50. Obviously, we can compound 100%. The more compliant you are to the plan, the more often you show up, the better results you're going to get. And it's just going to keep getting better and better. But again, we can't compound 0%. So be relentlessly consistent. Even if you don't want to show up for your workout, show up for your workout. I just want to give a big shout out to Ivy for that, because sometimes when we were in LA, after long days of work, she was tired. She didn't want to go to the gym. And to me, it's a non-negotiable, regardless of how I feel, I'm going to go to the gym. And Ivy would show up and she would still crush her workout regardless of how tired she was. And she always felt good after. He said, Ivy, what'd you say? It hurts your soul? Yeah, she always say it hurts my soul when she was working out with me on those long days, but she still showed up, right? And one of the main reasons that I love her is just she keeps pushing. She's a hustler and she shows up for her workouts, right? So be relentlessly consistent. So the last point, which is point number 5, is I want you to obviously put it this way. You've heard this before, seeing failure as an opportunity to improve. But I want to use it as an analogy for those of you guys that have played video games in the past, or a version of a game, right? I remember when I was a kid, I was playing like Mario Kart or like Donkey Kong or all these different games. When you played a game and you reach a level, then there's a new boss that you have to conquer. There's a new level that you have to go through, right? And realistically, do you conquer every single level in one go? No, the majority of the time you fail within the level and you have to start that level all over again. Sometimes you restart it 5 times, sometimes it's 10 times, sometimes it's only 2 times. But every time you fail, you've already been through the process. So you have a better understanding of how to go further in that level to go to the next one. And so when you restart the game, you have some insights as to like where the barrel is hidden, where the banana is hidden, like which person is going to come out from which angle. You have a better understanding once you go through the level a few times. It's the same thing in life. Every time there's a failure, now you know that path didn't work. You've learned something. So now you have to restart the level, go through it again. You're going to go further and further, and eventually you'll just complete that level and you'll move on to the next one. What a lot of people do is they go through a level and then they die in that level, and then they get to restart and they're like, I'm just going to stay at the beginning of this level because I failed once. There's no way for me to go through it ever again. Right? How did you finish those video games? Every time you failed or something happened, you restart it, you learned, you push further, failed, came back, pushed further, and eventually you completed the whole game. It's the same thing in life. When there's a failure, I'm not saying it's pleasant. I'm not saying you're going to deal with it properly every single time. I don't deal with it properly every single time, but ultimately I always come back to the place of like, all right, this didn't work out. Let's try it a different way now, right? Sometimes it takes me 2 minutes. Sometimes it takes me a week to get to that place. But ultimately, I'm always going to go back to the place of like, cool, this didn't work out. Let's just continue on this level. Let's learn from it so that we can keep pushing to the next one, to the next one, and to the next one. And now one caveat I want to put to that is you get to control at what level you want to stop. It's not because that there's 100 levels that you have to go to level 100. I feel like for certain people, that's what they want out of life. Some people, they want a level 70. Some people, they want a level 30. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you're honest with yourself as to what's the actual level that you want to, all right? If you stop at level 10 out of laziness, then ultimately, is it where you actually want to be, all right? So I'm saying that because some of you guys have fitness goal. You're like, I want to be on the cover of a magazine, but ultimately that's not the end goal that you want to have. Maybe you just want to be a little bit leaner, have some more energy, right? You don't need to look like the guy that's at the cover of a magazine. The guy that's on the cover of a magazine doesn't look like that all year round, and he doesn't want to look like that all year round because it's extremely unsustainable. So you have to be honest with yourself with what it is that you actually want. And I promise that's going to make the world of a difference. So again, just see this fitness journey, this health journey as a video game. You're going to fail, you're going to learn, you're going to progress forward, and forward. So guys, so that is it for our little podcast that we do every single Friday. I try to keep them short. I don't know if I did a good job on this one. We're 11 minutes in. I was trying to keep them for 5 minutes. We're a few minutes over. I'll say a massive thank you to listening to the episode. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a 5-star review, share it online with your family, with your friends, so that they can benefit from the information as well. And I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Ciao.